was founded in 1876 by the Benedictine monks. And today we're going to talk about new approaches to student workers. So during the pandemic, actually, I'll just leave it here because all of my slides are just written. During the pandemic, we really pulled out all the stops to do some work that we'd really been wanting to do for a long time and that we had already done. So we had trained some students to do very different kinds of activities that would build their resume a lot. And once the pandemic hit and some of our students had to work from home, then we really had some new ideas about more professional level work. So that's what we're going to talk about and the different kinds of things that we did. Next slide, where's that? Yep. So I've worked with several of these students. One in particular, the one that worked off campus, did a lot of work for us with the compute. So in each case, we interviewed the student to get an idea of their skill set, and 3 of the students worked together to put on a seminar for misinformation, and that was Caleb, Maria, and Matthew. Some of them worked on facilitating book clubs. Some of them worked on helping us update our links. They worked on the LMS and LibGuides, among other things that they did. And Alexis here did some work as a student at Auburn. You want to tell them about that?
Hi, so I was a work study for several years when I went to Auburn University, and I remember that, and we're about to talk a little bit about training methods, and I remember the best training thing that we did was I wasn't just given something to do. They didn't say, hey, go move these books from here to here. They said, hi, I'm thinking about this project. Let's walk you through it and you help me plan it. And so I was able to go and help them kind of identify where things needed to go and where things needed to move and what I would do and who could help me. And it was always really nice to be included because I felt valued, but also later on when a new situation arose, then I could actually contribute. And now that I'm an actual librarian myself, I actually know what I'm doing. And I can now take our work studies and do the same thing. We can walk them through it, make them feel included and valued and get their input. And a lot of times they have much better ideas than I do about where things need to go and what needs to be done. So it's actually worked out really nicely for us to be able to include them. And for me to come at it from my perspective, having been one, now that I can look at them and see what they need and what would benefit them best.
So when we did the training methods, we really tailored it to each student. And so we have an online training for all of our student assistants. And at the end of that is build your resume component. And that's when they can come talk to us and they can get training in being a peer consultation, research consultation in their major, or they can work on another project. For example, I had one of our students work on metadata for anti-racism LibGuide, and another number of other things. But what we try to do is focus it and tailor it to their major so they'll have something on their resume at the end of their Belmont Abbey experience that will be applicable in their job search.
So now that our students are back in person, we're trying to continue that. We're trying to keep these goals of having things that are going to be helpful to us, but also interesting to them and something that's going to be able to build on their resumes in the future. So all of our students do some pretty basic things. They work the circulation desk, just like most work studies do, but they also help us in a lot of interesting ways. They help us test new surveys. They help us test new communication methods and future projects that we're going to have with future work studies. They also help me with library signage and policy binders, all these different things where I need a lot of administrative help, but it's things that don't require a lot of guidance. So they're able to do these things very easily. They also even help us catalog materials sometimes. So they help us wrap the books, they do the Mylar, they do the barcodes, and they sometimes even help us with the data inputting into the system. And for some reason they love this. And I think it's just because they finally get to go behind the scenes and feel like they're doing real librarian work and they get so excited to do that. We also, once our students are a little bit more advanced, they help us with some specialized projects. Gwen has studied Christianity, Latin, Catholicism for several years, and she was able to help me identify more than a dozen illuminated manuscripts that were decorating our walls. No one knew what any of them were, and she went and did a bunch of research and created these little placards that had the author, the illustrator, if we knew these things, where they're located, when they were created, and she affixed a new little card to each framed image in our library. And every time she walks by, you just see her touch them. And she's just, oh, I did that. And she's so excited. And it was funny because the thing she was most excited about was not the entire project. It was learning how to use the laminator. So you never know when there's a learning moment there. Annie and Logan, they're interested in children's lit. And so they helped us reorganize the juvenile section. And even on their own accord, without even being asked, they kept going back throughout the semester, checking in on their area. They would go back and tidy things up, put a new little sign up, reorganize, read the shelves without even being asked. And you could tell they took that ownership and they were really proud of that. Mary, Gwen, and Adonis helped us with our poster printer. None of us really know what we're doing with that thing. And so none of us. And so they helped us make a step-by-step guide and a troubleshooting guide. And now those guides sit beside the format printer. And faculty, staff, students, we see them using it all the time. And a lot fewer people are coming and asking us for help. And we now have a team of work studies who know what they're doing and they're able to help people when they come up to the desk asking for help. So it's really nice. It's a really nice side effect. And the last thing is that our students like helping me with social media ideas. Sometimes this is finding a cool book. The other day, we found Winnie the Pooh in Latin. One of our students did a whole Instagram post about, hey, look, it's Winnie et le Pooh. It was really cute. And they know this stuff better than we do a lot of the times. They're using social media every day. They know what they're interested in. And so they come to us with ideas and they're able to really offer something that I wouldn't be able to do as well myself. So it's really fun to do all these different projects with them, get them off the desk, get them up and moving and feeling involved in the library. And it's really exciting to see what they're capable of.
And then we had these learning outcomes, which is our last slide. So troubleshooting, digital exhibits have been created. The experience with the content and learning management systems, being trained in peer research, and all of the rest of it, the book club, putting together the seminar, all of that. Are there any questions?
Tell me, as far as social media, what platforms do you do are most, that the students really invested kind of follow?
Well, we use Facebook and Instagram. I haven't ever noticed much traffic on the Facebook page from students. We do get a good bit of interaction from our alumni. How about the Instagram account, Alexis?
It's really, I'm new-ish to this position. And so it was stagnant for a long time. Our Instagram page was, but I created the, you can upgrade into the Instagram business suite. So you can see the analytics and you can see who's being involved and which posts are the most successful. And it has grown so quickly. And I see that the posts that are the most interesting to our students are the ones that include our students. Mm-hmm. So I've learned now, I'm always trying to get faces on the Instagram. If I can get one of our work studies to take a picture with them, with the book, or take a picture, or we did one for graduation. All of our graduating work studies, we did a feature on them. Hi, here's Abigail, we're gonna miss you. And those, I saw immediate 10, 15 likes from students that are at the school. So including them and actually being able to see their friends on the pages and them doing things at the library, that's what's gonna be most exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. On the regular Facebook account, the ones that are always the most popular have the faculty on them. The one with our director on it had more likes than anyone that we'd ever had when we got the book of Kells and stuff. Anything else?
There was a question from a virtual attendee. If you do any evaluation or performance review with the students at the end of the year?
Not really. If they get hired back, that's a good sign. But we don't do any formal evaluation. We should probably change that, especially for the students that are so heavily involved in the life of the library.
And we have been discussing possibly creating an incentive plan, some kind of student of the month program or something to really highlight the students who are doing a great job. And just so that they can see that we acknowledge them and also their friends can see it and maybe they'll start doing a little better. So,
She's full of good ideas. Well, thank you guys for coming to the presentation.
thanks.